Hello, friends. Today we're going to talk about a very serious and important topic. This topic is about our country's education, our education system. Just think, our country has reached the moon, reached Mars, but our children's textbooks are still 50 years old. What's the use of such progress if our foundation remains weak? Our education system, understand it like a car with a new engine but old tires. How will the car move forward? This system is in the ICU. It desperately needs treatment. We face so many challenges, so many problems that we'll get tired just counting them. On one side, there's inequality, where a rich child studies in an air-conditioned school and a poor child under a broken roof. The curriculum is so outdated that what children are taught has no use in real life. On top of that, look at the condition of schools, the shortage of teachers, children are dropping out of school. And the biggest disease is this exam-focused system. Children are not being taught knowledge, they're just being turned into machines to get numbers. Memorize, take the exam, forget it. This won't help the country move forward. But just listing problems won't do anything. If there's a problem, there's also a solution. We won't just shout about darkness, we'll light a lamp too. We have studied this deeply, researched it, and brought solutions for you. If these are worked on, we can completely change our education system. We can make our country a world leader. So let's begin. Here are 10 comprehensive solutions to revolutionize Indian education. The first and most important task is to fix our curriculum. This tradition of rote learning, it needs to be uprooted completely. You tell me, Newton discovered the law of gravity, understand it. But no, here our children are just made to memorize definitions. Write it in the exam, get numbers, that's it. But what's the practical use of that law? How does a rocket fly? Why does a ball fall down? Until a child asks why and how will real knowledge come? We need to teach our children how to think, to open their minds, not just fill them with random data. We need to focus on 21st century skills like critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, all of these. And understand one thing. How can the curriculum be the same for all of India? The child sitting in the desert of Rajasthan has different needs, and the one in the coastal area of Kerala has different ones. We need to bring flexibility to the curriculum. A small part should be at the national level, but a large part should be decided at the state and local level, according to their needs, their history, their geography, and students should also be given a choice. If someone is interested in music, why force them to study physics? Give them the option to combine multiple subjects. Let the child excel in what they're good at. Only then will true talent emerge. No matter how grand a building you build, if its pillars, its supports are weak, the building will fall. The pillars of the education system are teachers, our gurus. But what have we done to our gurus? They are made to do everything except teaching. Sometimes election duty, sometimes census, sometimes something else. And their training? Just did a B.Ed once, and that's it. But the world is changing every day, technology is changing, so how can teaching methods remain old? We need to run continuous professional development programs for teachers, meaning continuous training. Every 2 or 3 years, they need to be taught about new methods, new technology. The recruitment system also needs to be fixed. This recruitment of teachers through favoritism and corruption must stop. Recruitment should be purely merit-based, where along with subject knowledge, teaching aptitude, communication skills, and passion for children are also considered. And teachers who are doing good work, whose children are performing well, give them incentives, promote them, respect them, teach them digital pedagogy, meaning how to teach with computers and the internet. When our teachers are empowered, motivated, and well-equipped, only then will they bring about a revolution in the classroom. A good teacher means a good future for the country. Friends, most of our country's population sends their children to government schools. But what image comes to our mind when we hear government schools? Broken buildings, dirty toilets, no fans, no benches. Why is this the situation? Is a child studying in a government school not a citizen of this country? We need to make government schools better than private schools. First, their infrastructure, their basic facilities need to be fixed. Clean classrooms, libraries, playgrounds, computer labs, everything should be there. The government needs to increase the budget and ensure its proper use. Second, the student-teacher ratio needs to be fixed. How can one teacher teach 100 children? This is a crowd, not a class. We need to hire more teachers so that there is at least one teacher for every 30 children. This will allow the teacher to give personal attention to each child, understand their weaknesses, and help them overcome them. And most importantly, community participation. School management committees, or SMCs, need to be given freedom and power. People from the village, parents of children, they should monitor the school. When society considers the school its own, only then will it take care of it and its quality will improve. You're building a building. If its foundation is weak, will you be able to build a 10-story structure on it? Never. Look, a child's brain develops 90% by the age of 5. And what do? We send them to an Anganwadi where they're just fed porridge and left to play. This is the biggest mistake. Early childhood education, meaning the education of children from 3 to 6 years old, is the most important. We need to make pre-primary education a part of the formal school system. Nursery, LKG, UKG before Class 1 must be made compulsory. For this, we need to upgrade our Anganwadis. They shouldn't just be centers for distributing food, but become the children's first schools. Anganwadi workers need to be given proper training. They need to be taught how to teach children through play, songs, and stories. They need to be taught letters, color recognition, good habits, all of this. When a child's foundation is so strong, when they come to Class 1, they will move forward like a rocket. Their mind will be ready to learn new things. The return on this investment will be seen in the next 20 years. Today's era is all about technology. The whole world is captured in a small screen in our hands. So why can't we use this technology to improve our education? The time when teachers taught with chalk and blackboards is gone. We need to build smart classrooms, where there's a projector or smartboard through which the teacher can teach by showing videos, animations, three-dimensional models. Just think, instead of drawing how the heart works on a blackboard, it's better to show a three-dimensional animation video of it. The child will never forget. Every school should have a digital library, where children can read books and research papers from all over the world through the internet. By using artificial intelligence, we can create a personalized learning plan for each child. AI can tell which child is weak in which subject and what kind of extra help they need. With AI-driven assessment, we can test children and give immediate results, which will save the teachers time. EdTech startups that are bringing new and innovative solutions should be promoted. By using technology as a tool, we can make education interesting and accessible for every child. A country only progresses when every citizen, whether rich or poor, boy or girl, living in the city or village, gets an equal opportunity to move forward. And the biggest means to this is education. But here, inequality is very high. We need to bridge this gap. For this, steps like scholarships are very important. Poor and meritorious children need to be given financial support so that their studies don't stop due to lack of money. The midday meal scheme is a very good scheme. It needs to be improved further. This provides nutrition to children and also increases their attendance in school. We need to focus on inclusive education. For children with disabilities, special facilities in schools, such as ramps, special toilets, and special educators, are mandatory. And most importantly, the education of girls. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao should not just remain a slogan, it needs to be implemented on the ground. Separate toilets for girls, arrangements for their safety, and making their parents aware to send them to school are necessary. When every daughter of the country is educated, she will educate 2 families. When quality education reaches every child, only then will there be Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. The biggest disease of our education system is the pressure of exams. Throughout the year, the child doesn't study. In the last 2 months, they memorize from guides and guest papers, throw it up in the exam, and that's it. How can you decide how capable a child is from this 3-hour exam? This system is not giving children knowledge, it's giving them stress, anxiety, and depression. We need to completely change this entire examination system from its roots. We need to shift from summative assessment to formative assessment. That is, instead of one big exam at the end of the year, the child should be evaluated throughout the year through small tests, quizzes, projects, and assignments. We should introduce concepts like open book exams. Let the child look at the book, This will test their understanding and analytical skills, not just their memory. There should be more focus on project work and practicals. The pressure of board exams needs to be reduced. Why is all the focus only on the 10th and 12th board exams? When the child is assessed throughout the year, the fear of board exams will automatically decrease. The purpose of assessment should not be to label a child as pass or fail, but to identify their weaknesses and help them overcome them. Only then will the true meaning of assessment be fulfilled. The government has taken a very good step. The National Education Policy 2020. Friends, this policy is a revolutionary document. It contains everything we've been discussing so far. It has a new 5+3+3+4 structure, which gives importance to early childhood education. It talks about starting vocational education, meaning skill-based training, right from school. It gives children the freedom to choose multiple subjects. It talks about reducing the pressure of board exams. It talks about improving teacher training and higher education. The policy is excellent, there's no doubt about it. But friends, making a policy is one thing, and implementing it on the ground is completely another. Our country doesn't lack good policies, it lacks their proper implementation. This shouldn't happen with NEP 2020. The central government, state governments, schools, teachers, everyone needs to work together as a team. This requires political will. This requires awareness among the general public. We need to ensure that NEP 2020 doesn't just remain a good policy on paper, but reaches every school, every classroom, and changes the future of our children. After school, children go to college, university. What happens there? The same situation. Our colleges and universities have become factories for handing out degrees. A child spends 3 or 4 years getting a degree, and when they go out to look for a job in the market, they find out that what they studied has no value. The industry needs skills that they don't have. What happens because of this? Unemployment increases. We need to completely revamp our higher education system. We need to promote research and innovation. Our colleges shouldn't just be places for teaching, but centers for creating new knowledge. We need to have global collaboration. Our universities should tie up with the best universities in the world. There should be student exchange and faculty exchange programs. The curriculum needs to be designed according to the needs of the industry. Industry experts should come and teach, give guest lectures. Internships should be made compulsory so that children get practical experience. And most importantly, higher education needs to be affordable. If the fees are so expensive, how will a poor child study? We need to design employable degrees that are also affordable and after which children can get good jobs. Friends, improving education is not just the government's job. This is such a big task that the government cannot do it alone. Everyone needs to come together for this. We need to promote public-private partnerships, meaning the participation of government and private organizations. There are many good NGOs, social organizations, who are doing excellent work on the ground in the field of education. The government should work with them, support them. They can light the lamp of education in remote areas where the government cannot reach. Similarly, private companies and corporations should also come forward. They can use their CSR, meaning corporate social responsibility funds, to adopt schools, build infrastructure there, or train teachers. EdTech startups that are bringing new ideas and technology can partner with government schools to bring in technology. When the government, private sector, NGOs, startups, and society all come together as a team and work towards one goal, only then will we be able to face this big challenge and make our education system modern and effective. This is a team effort. So friends, these were the 10 solutions that can breathe new life into our education system. This journey is long, difficult, but not impossible. If we implement these reforms with the right intention and full effort, the benefits will be endless. Imagine an India where every child is getting quality education, where no child is without skills. This will increase our productivity, reduce unemployment, and our country will become a true knowledge economy, a knowledge-based economy. Our demographic dividend will only become a dividend when our population is educated and skilled. This is not just about the future of children, it's about the future of the entire country. An educated citizen builds a better country. They know their rights, understand their responsibilities, and contribute to the country's progress. Our goal is not just to produce degree holders, but to create thinking, problem-solving, and responsible citizens. Everyone's contribution is necessary in this revolution. We want to discuss this topic in more depth. We want to know your opinion. Would you like a reform plan tailored to a specific level or region? For example, a plan only for primary education or only for Uttar Pradesh or Bihar? Let us know in the comments. Your suggestions are very important to us. Together we will change this system.